Do you ever at night get like a terrifying sensation that like, holy crap, we're on like a rock flying through space. There's nothing above me. And we just are all cool with that.
And like a big asteroid could come at any time in
a solar flare. Literally
a solar flare, wipe out our entire existence as a species, as a life form.
Yeah. You had the idea of kind of talking about this. What is the topic for today? Sorry about the weird intro. He's really drunk and I'm really tired. So this is going to be a wonderful podcast. He's not really drunk. I'm just being I'm not,
but I did have some maker's mark from our last conversation with Phil. So NASA recently released the audio that they've supposedly captured from a black hole. The clip that we're going to hear is a black hole called Perseus. It's a galaxy cluster that NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory observed earlier this year. They released the audio from the black hole, which is at the center of our galaxy, back in May. The misconception that there is no sound in space originates because most space is a vacuum, providing no way for sound waves to travel. A galaxy cluster has so much gas that we've picked up actual sound. Here it's amplified and mixed with other data to hear a black hole.
I wonder what that data would be.
Well, that's my question. I want to talk more about that. But yeah, so supposedly there's so much gas in the galaxy cluster that it allows the sound to pass through.
So this is literally heavenly music, right?
Yeah.
Bobby, can you push play for us?
Cue that up and play that for us and we can listen.
Oh my God, it sounds like hell.
Yeah, right?
Oh, it's in stereo.
I noticed that.
I've got goosebumps. That's kind of creepy. It sounds like a warp drive struggling to engage.
Yeah.
You've heard this before. Well, wow.
Let's play it again in a minute.
Well, first off,
thanks, Bobby.
When you first heard that, what was your reaction to that?
So I immediately thought of a lot of the like more modern well, not even modern, but like the sci-fi genre has kind of you've heard that sound before. Like I think about the movie Dune that came out not that long ago. The audio was incredible. The whole sort of soundscape in that movie was really good. I think a lot of what we've heard from, like the whole Star Wars franchise, Star Trek franchise.
Abby, doesn't that sound like a warp drive in Star Trek Next Generation? Like
definitely.
Like I feel like Geordie LaForge was trying to, Captain, I can't get it to engage. Abort.
And I feel like Interstellar, the movie with Matthew McConaughey, I think there were some elements of like, I haven't gone back to check, but I think there were some of those sounds in that movie.
There was some music over that and some of the tense situations in the movie. That's what it sounded like, especially going through that black hole. And just for context, we've done audio engineer work for many, many, many years.
Yes. For both music and like video productions.
Yeah.
So like pretty high level video productions, same for music.
We're aware of the trickery also that can happen with that. So I'm curious, can we hear it again, you think?
Yeah. And before we do it, here's a couple things I want to point out. It's stereo, which is weird. I don't think there's any way in hell that it could actually be captured in stereo. I think it's been manipulated to maybe be a little eerier, because if we figure this black hole is however many millions of light years away, you would have to set up your left mic and your right mic however many 100 millions of light years to either side.
One on Mars and one on, on Jupiter. Yeah, it would have to be.
But if we're actually picking up this audio in a semi-central location, let's just say on the planet Earth, I don't think it would matter if you put, a mic at one pole, the North Pole, and then one at the South. It's so far away. I don't really think, and I don't know for sure how they're capturing it.
Is it possible that when they talk about other data that they've focused on one area and they're seeing more pulses in that area? So unfortunately, there's a lot of enhancing coming from a lot of these. Well, we believe that this would be a blue color. We believe that this would be more green, and they enhance and do all that stuff. So there's a lot, I don't want to say trickery, but a lot of guessing.
Well, and I mean,
professional guessing, but
maybe they're trying to, give it a little color, give it a little, excitement and vibrance. I will say, if you listen to when the clip cuts off, I hear some reverb at the end. I hear the tail of the reverb or like a slight delay.
Sure.
where it still kind of like fades out. So I feel like that it's as we would say, wet.
But for real though, man, it is a wonderful marketing tool. Even if it's honestly colored up a little bit, just, tweaked. It's a great marketing tool to maybe even bring up interest for space. I want people to be searching space. I want to find another planet out there. I cannot believe that out of the billions of stars and the planets that orbit around those billions of stars, that there's not something else out there. Some other civilization or even just a bug on another planet somewhere. I can't believe it that we're it. That terrifies me if we're it.
Same. I think that we've discussed how for some Chasing Mountains Media, which is the parent company of our podcast, it's our parent company. We've talked about how we want to focus on some like space education and some things like that, which would be really cool. So there's some fun things in the works that I'm excited about.
Well, as I look at my son, I see him look at me like, wait, what? There's these massive planets out there that are just whizzing through space, and I'm on a rock that's going around the sun, and you just see the blown like imagination as he talks about like adventures and stuff like that. I don't know. I kind of want to be a part of like inspiring kids through story and visualization about our planets. Honestly, it blew my mind. I mean, the fact of just what we're seeing from these new telescope. What's the name of that new telescope that came out? That
I don't remember.
James Webb. Is it something like that? No.
Yeah, something Webb.
Either way, the stuff coming out of it is crazy images that you're just like, what? That just all exists out there, and here I'm stressed out in traffic. Did
you say James Webb?
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah,
it is.
James Webb Telescope. Yeah, it's a NASA.
Do you ever at night get like a terrifying sensation that like, holy crap, we're on like a rock flying through space. There's nothing above me. Yes, there's atmosphere, but like there's nothing, foreverness this way and that way. And we just are all cool with that.
And like a big asteroid could come at any time in
a solar flare,
literally a solar flare, wipe out our entire existence as a species, as a life form completely. Like we'd be removed from the universe. Yep. Which is like, it's just a weird thought.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, and it wouldn't have to be that big of a rock.
It's basically like, you think about like if all of humanity, everything we've ever done, every memory ever created, every accomplishment, every physical representation of, who we are as a species.
Music.
If it was like stored on a hard drive and then your hard drive was melted in a fire, it's just gone.
Right.
It's just gone. And
we have proof that when you look around our world, that it's been hit multiple times with massive asteroids and it's caused, global damage. And we're just like chill about it. Like, hey, it gonna happen again.
It's gonna happen again.
It terrifies me. Yeah. So for me, it's kind of like, I want people looking out, observing space, because when that rock comes, I either want a nice ticket to Mars or some way to move it out of the way.
Well, we're gonna send Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck up there to handle things.
Yeah. I loved that movie when it came out. I watched it again.
Your sister, my wife, loves that movie.
Sure. Have you watched it like later on? Is it any good?
It's not that great. But I don't know if it was meant to be great. Like it's meant to be one of those like, it's kind of, to me, it fits in the same category as like Independence Day with like Will Smith.
Yeah. I loved that movie. I still do.
It's so silly, but like
yeah.
You watch it and you're just like, yeah. Also,
obviously,
he punches an alien in the face.
Before he was punching comedians. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You win.
Yeah. Business pro. No.
That's more like, that's like comedy pro. Yeah. You just won.
Well, deal.
Good. Well played. Bobby's laughing over there. Let's listen to this thing again. Let's listen to this. So two things for viewers to listen to. The stereo. So if you're like on headphones or on, your AirPods or whatever.
Put some earpods on.
There's stereo, which is weird, again, from like an audio engineering standpoint, that this would have stereo, like pretty defined. It sounds to me like someone is just playing with the pan, just back and forth. But and then the other thing is the reverb trail at the end.
Okay. Yeah, there's the reverb tail. So they colored it up a little bit.
Which is fine.
It
makes it does make it more sci-fi movie, but like how just eerie is that? Like the universe, the galaxy is just like groaning. The physics behind a black hole, it almost doesn't make sense. You know, like the amount of gravity is enough to bend light. They say like to bend space and time. That's scary stuff.
To like a dum-dum like me, when I start to think about that kind of stuff, it hurts my brain a little bit.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a second. It can suck light in as if it's like a tangible thing to grab and pull in. Gravity's so heavy.
Yeah.
That breaks my brain a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how? You say, yes, a collapsing star can cause it to happen. How? Like,
we need to get
somebody, if you know a physicist,
if you're a physicist,
yes.
If you're a physicist or an expert in this, or if you're NASA, oh man, that'd be cool to have somebody from NASA on here.
I know someone.
Come join us.
Used to work in NASA, but he's dead now.
Oh, well, that's not.
Grandpa Gibson, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was like an electrical engineer for them. Like,
Your grandpa.
My grandpa.
Yeah.
I think he did a lot of stuff on the facility and making certain that systems that built the rockets and stuff worked. Brilliant man. Miss him every day.
My uncle worked on the shuttle program.
Really?
Through NASA. He was like a contractor through, like his company was, the company he worked for was like a contractor or subcontractor, man, but he worked directly on the shuttle program. But neither of those would help us much probably with black hole. How cool would it be if we could talk to a physicist? Yeah. Like, and try to explain it to, like, okay, let's bring it down to like third grade level, please, and act like I'm really stupid, and then thank you. Act like we're both really stupid, but they wouldn't have to act very. But like when it comes to things like that, when you're talking about the scale of some of these things, when they like that one picture they sent back, it was like some nebula or whatever it was, and you're looking at it, and they're like, well, so from here to here is 2,000 light years across. And you're like, what? Excuse me? Like, you're like, no, that right there is a star. This is this. And then that in the distance is another galaxy. And you're like, what? Like the size and the scope of space makes me feel so small. And honestly, kind of helps me with a lot of just like day-to-day problems. It's like, sometimes our problems are so big to us. Sometimes it's good to just like step out of your current problem and think, the world is really big. I can get through this. And we've talked too before about like how there's a period of time where science seemed to be in opposition with the idea of a great creator, that, in opposition with God. And I think it seems as though the more as a society that we learn about our universe, the more that we learn about quantum computing, the more it seems to all sort of align with like this divine design, like this divine, creator or something that we would call programmed. God. Yeah. And not only programmed, but endless. Yeah. Are we going to find out one day that God is just a really big super nerd with the glasses? Like, how'd you like the program, guys? I've been working on it for 470,000 trillion years. Have you got to the, whatever nebula, say it, whatever it is? Like, no, man, we haven't made it to Mars. 13.7 billion years old. That's what I should have said. That's how old astronomers believe the universe is. How do we know that? Yeah. I mean, it could be. That's why we need a physicist to come on. It could be 20 times older than that. It could be, Thursday. It could happen Thursday. We're all just like have these fake memories. It's what were you going to say though? Sorry. I'm just saying, like, if I'm being fully honest, when I look out into space, I don't think that was just by happenstance. I think about our genome. I think about our programming in our genes and our DNA. I just feel like it's code. And just the way that light is and how. So what's a black hole? As far as like in a spiritual way? In the code, in the program, in the matrix, like what is that, like a backdoor to the next universe? So if it's code, they just haven't engineered that part of the map yet. Oh, interesting. Okay. And it's just a section that like hasn't been updated yet. Mm-hmm. The firmware is coming soon. You need a driver update. Yeah. But first off too, we don't quite understand dark matter. We don't understand space. I mean, for God's sakes, 100 years ago,
people were still, driving around on horses.
Not only that, but like, it was a matter, like, I'm not sure the exact timeline, but we're talking within the last couple 100 years or less that we were doing like bloodletting and leeching.
Yes.
And like when it came to medical care, like it wasn't that long ago. We thought we had it all figured out, and we thought we knew what was going on, and we thought we had the solutions, like from a medical standpoint, for a variety of ailments. Mm-hmm. We look back now and say that's foolish.
Right.
And we're talking a span of a couple 100 years.
Right.
And that's not just medical. You can expand that into a lot of areas of science. You go back many hundreds of years, and I think hundreds of years, and they thought the world was flat. Yep. There's still people that think the world's flat, but
we'll talk about you guys later.
The understanding of like physics as we know it on our planet and in the universe, like all of that in the grand scope of like time, it's all pretty recent. New and pretty fresh and pretty recent. And so
don't get me wrong, I'm proud of the stuff that they've accomplished so far, but it almost feels like they think that's the end all and be all.
Well, and not only that, my point is that what little truly we know about the universe, like manned spaceflight has barely scratched the surface of the rest of the universe.
Yeah. When did we get into when did we go to the moon? Was that 69?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
So,
yeah.
I mean, like
Apollo missions.
That wasn't that long ago.
Right.
Like we're infants when it comes towards civilization.
And there's a lot of people who think that we never even went to the moon.
We'll talk about you guys later too.
Which, yeah, we could talk about that.
But I am happy that they're out there searching and looking. Yes,
me too. It's
fun. We
fun.
should be exploring our solar system as much as we possibly can and discover as much as we can around our world. Throughout all of history, man, people have just been observing like the sky. They're in wonder. Like I remember when I went to Alaska and I looked up in the sky and it's the clearest I've ever seen, and you can see the Milky Way. And
didn't you see the Northern Lights up there too?
Oh yeah. It's just you understand why people worship that stuff.
What do they call it? The something borealis?
Aurora borealis.
Yes,
it's very hard for me to say.
What's
Aurora borealis?
Yeah.
But all that to say,
can't you hear it too?
I swear to God that I heard the Aurora borealis. And people, when I was there, said no, you can't hear it, Jacob. I was like, no, I swear to God, I hear like static.
There's like a magnetic field, right?
Right. But people were like, no, it's not audible. I was like, I'm telling you, I hear something. They're like, no, that's wind. I was like, I know what wind sounds like. It's something. I hear like a low level, like something. And they were like, no, whatever. Anyways, years later on a podcast, I heard that some people can hear it. And I am an audio engineer, at least at that time I was. And I just listened to frequencies all day.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I heard it. We were way up there and they were going like crazy. So either I was crazy or they were.
You've got some weird electromagnetic fields going through your body anyway, though. We talk about like the Apple Watch shocking you and how you can't a lot of times use like a regular digital watch, right?
Yeah. They go bad on me. So I have to cycle through them.
Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
Or I'm just an idiot and knocking into things. Either or.
So question about black holes. I know we're going on.
That's okay.
This is going to be a short podcast, but so in Interstellar, which
watch the movie
from like a cinematic standpoint, really amazing movie. Like it was all shot, I think, on IMAX. One of the earlier movies to like be all IMAX.
Yeah. I watched that as I guess I'll watch this. Dude, I got into it.
And they used anamorphic lenses, I think, throughout, right?
Oh, yeah.
So there's some really, really cool shots.
Sorry to interrupt, but when he was realizing that his daughter was old, his son was old, and time had passed, what for him was fractions. I literally wept watching that movie. And I am not a crier. I just thought, man, like, what would I do if all of a sudden everybody I knew was just gone and they thought I left them? When the truth is he's out there trying to save humanity.
And they thought it for decades.
Their whole lives.
Yeah.
So you can't correct that. Oh man, that movie got me. I loved it.
Yeah, that's like, and what's kind of cool.
The music was great.
From the standpoint of like what we're talking about here tonight. Yeah, the audio from that movie was awesome.
Yeah, more so the audio than the music, but yes, go ahead.
Well, I think the audio and the visuals, they consulted with all kinds of experts in this space, no pun intended. To make sure that to ensure that they were like there was some element of of realism, which like is really cool. Again, from like a movie making standpoint. But, he goes through this black hole supposedly in the movie, and which sort of is the climactic moment of the movie. Do you buy into the idea, as many people do, that like black holes are a way to teleport into different dimensions? Because like some people think, I've heard it explained that like basically if the universe is on a plane and you fold the universe in half, punch a hole through it, that's essentially what like a black hole is. It allows you to bypass all these sort of physics that we believe that the universe operates under, and you can sort of find the back rooms, so to speak, this sort of backdoor channel that is on another plane or another dimension and pop out somewhere else. Now, I personally think you'd be so vaporized and destroyed in the process that it's impossible. But
I don't know much about this stuff, so my opinion on this point going forward.
This is why we need a physicist to come out. I'm probably butchering it, but
dude, I don't know, because we don't know what dark matter is.
You've watched a lot of Star Trek, and I'm pretty sure that
that's what they say it is. It's like, well, we can use the power from a black hole to do this and that. And anyways, for me,
I assume that most of what's on Star Trek is factual physics.
100% truth. It's the Bible. No, but I think at the end of the day, having something out there that we don't understand is beautiful.
Yeah.
Even to borrow from the saying of Star Trek, it kind of is the final frontier. We've done so much discovering on this planet. I know there's things that people haven't discovered yet, but
this is a smaller and smaller world, for sure,
and smaller. It's just space is so vast, and to think that we might be among the first generations that might be born on one planet and could possibly die on another. That to me is very exciting. To answer your question, I don't know what a black hole is, and I love the fact that I don't know, and I love the fact we're searching for the answer.
Well, you apparently know what they sound like now.
It sounds like the seventh level of hell. If
sounds pretty ominous for sure.
I want to hear what people think. Comment below, because first off, we're probably way off.
Seriously, if you are a professional in this space, an expert in this space, we're 100% serious. Like, message us. Reach out on Instagram. We'll have you on. Yep. We'll talk about it. Either you come here in Illinois, or we'll just beam you in.
Yep.
Pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek.
The subject of the email could be, "Hey, dumbass."
Yeah. Let me explain.
Here's how you,
explain outer space to you.
Look, hey, this is kind of a different podcast. We're not talking business, but there is a business of space now. And that's something we'll be talking about in the future. The SpaceX's, the Blue Origins. Basically, there are thousands upon thousands of satellites up there about to offer worldwide internet and cell phone service, and it's a race. Anyways, wrap this up, buddy.
I don't know how.
First off, we started this one off weird. We just kind of pushed roll and kept going with it.
This one is too deep, but that's sometimes what we do here. We go deep. Mm-hmm. We get into the hard topics that we don't understand a lot about.
Yep.
Your sister's making inappropriate jokes from across the room.
Yeah. So, is she Michael Scott in the joke?
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yes. On that note, thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
The thoughts and opinions on this show do not reflect those of our advertisers, employers, or other affiliates. The content should not be considered legal or financial advice. The Chasing Mountains podcast is a production of Chasing Mountains Media. Copyright 2022.